When parents sent their students to school last year, they had no way of knowing their kids would spend nearly half the year learning at home. Then COVID-19 reached Colorado in March. The pandemic forced many districts to extend their spring break, and it didn't stop there. The coronavirus drastically changed the end of the school year for students. It forced many working families to figure out how to juggle work and remote learning from home. Colleges and universities moved all their classes online. By April and May, high school seniors were missing out on their proms and graduations. After years of working toward degrees in higher education, the virus took away the glory of walking the stage to accept it for many college grads. Many believed things would get back to normal by the end of summer, only to learn that COVID had redefined our normal. Grade schools and universities are still trying to figure out how to bring back their students and staff safely. Many are giving families and students a choice, remote or in person. Some are offering a hybrid mix, while others are reverting back to the most restrictive option of remote only, at least to start. One thing is clear, no one knows exactly what will happen over the next few months as they plan for student life to continue in the middle of a pandemic. Good evening and welcome to our 9 News Back to Learning Town Hall. I'm Kim Christensen. Schools in Colorado are already starting to welcome students back to class in person and at home. But we have lots of questions. So we have 7 panelists with us tonight to discuss reopening schools. Rhiannon Wenning, a teacher at Jefferson Junior Senior High School. Dr. Pyle Coley, our 9 health expert. Katie Anthus, the State Commissioner of Education. Mark Ferrandino, the Deputy Superintendent of DPS, Rhonda Blanford Green, the Commissioner of the Colorado High School Activities Association, Monica Johnson, Superintendent of Strasburg 31J School District, and Elsa Banuelos, the Executive Director of Padres y Jóvenes Unidos. We are so grateful all of them are here. We're going to start with one of the biggest concerns here. Positive cases at school. 3 teachers have tested positive, 2 before their first day of school, and 1 of them within days after Cherry Creek schools returned to in-person learning. Outside the metro area, Fort Lupton High School already saw 2 in-person students within 2 cohorts test positive and have reverted to remote learning for the next 2 weeks. So we're going to start with you, Mark. DPS will begin remotely through October. But we asked this question, what's the plan in the district when you do have positive cases, if they come when you're learning in school?
Thanks, Kim, and thanks for putting this on because I think it's such an important topic all across the state and all across the country as we look at opening up schools. And I think the most important thing is we are working very closely with both local and state health officials to develop our plans to decide when it is safe to have in-person education with our students. And as you said, every school is going to have to develop plans on how we deal with any positive cases. I think it's important as we put out our plan, we are looking at some significant mitigation efforts to try and reduce the spread of COVID. That includes requiring masks for all students, requiring at least 3 feet of distance for students and 6 feet for adults. In addition, cohorting, as you talked about, putting a same group of students together during a time so that those kids are mixing with each other but not mixing with other groups. What that's really important is if there was a positive case in a cohort, then you may have to quarantine that cohort for up to 14 days based on the current health guidelines. And so we are using those health guidelines to look at what would need to be who would need to be quarantined based on those cohorts as we come back. But we also think it's really important that we implement those mitigation strategies to limit the spread of COVID in the schools as we look to return to in-person education.
And disrupt everything after that if you do have a positive case. Thank you, Mark. So, Monica, we're going to ask you, what about Strasburg 31J? What do you have in place? What if, when you get a positive case, will you do?
So similar to every other district, of course, we're under the same guidelines and we receive the same information. And our elementary school, just so that you know, is face-to-face 5 days a week. It's our middle school and high school are on an A/B rotation. So again, you look at that cohort and where that cohort is at. And then our plan truly is to lean in on health officials and contact Tri-County is our local health official who've been very responsive to us, and lean in on them to kind of follow their lead. However, we have in place, if their lead takes us to a quarantine situation for a cohort of kids, then we have prepared for that to happen. And we have put into place some different types of remote conversations with kids and remote abilities to continue instruction, even if we were to have a snow day. For example, at the secondary level, there won't be any typical snow days this year. There will always be instruction going on, whether it's face-to-face in the building or it's remote. So I think that depending upon where that cohort is and leaning in on the direction given to us by health officials, if the worst case scenario is you can no longer do face-to-face instruction and you have to do something remote, then as educators, we've anticipated that and we've put systems in place in order to ensure that students will continue to receive education and instruction.
All right, Monica, you mentioned health officials. Well, we have our own expert, Dr. Pyle Coley, our 9 health expert, and we go to you all the time, Dr. Pyle. So you've been studying the numbers. When we're talking about cases and what we're seeing in children, what are you seeing right now?
So, Kim, nationally, in the first 2 weeks of August, we saw a 24% increase in cases. And some states actually reported a positivity rate as high as 18%. In kids. So 1 in 5 cases coming back positive in children. And if you look at the national geographical distribution on the map, what you see is that Colorado is not doing the worst. So the darker the green here, the more percent increase in cases we've had in the first 2 weeks in August. And you can see that there are states doing worse than Colorado, but we're also not doing as well as the East Coast, which seems to have the lowest percentage of increase in cases in kids. Now, one interesting thing is this is looking at a timeline of the last 2 weeks. If you extend that timeline for the last month, what you see here is that the cases in Colorado in kids have increased by 60 to 69%, and the hospitalizations in kids here in Colorado have increased by 14%. So it looked like the second 2 weeks of July we were having a big increase. It slowed down a little bit in the last 2 weeks, but something we still have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, when you look at those statistics, it really tells you everything, and we're just mid-August here. Mark and Monica both talked about leaning in on health officials. How should they look at that data?
I think health officials really need to take this as a wake-up call, because for the longest time, the community had been lulled into a sense of complacency that kids are immune or protected from this virus. And I think that this, to me, really tells me that that's not the case. They can both catch and spread the virus. And the reason we were seeing such few numbers in kids were because they had been staying at home. They had been out of school. They had not been congregating. And as they start getting together, those numbers will go up. As we start testing kids, those numbers will go up. And our testing in kids is still woefully behind. So I think everybody here in the community needs to realize this is just a reminder that kids can catch and spread the infection. And as we go back to school, those mitigation measures that Mark just talked about are critical.
Yeah. We were also focused on those numbers in March and April, and I think sometimes we've kind of stayed away from them lately. We really need to focus in on those, hone in. Thank you, Dr. Pyle. We'll be back to you in a little bit, too. You know, after Boulder County saw some of the worst increases in COVID cases over the summer, the Boulder Valley School District completely changed its plans to the most restrictive option: full remote learning, in hopes of preventing any outbreaks at their schools. Here is Nelson Garcia.
Though Boulder Valley plans to start the fall semester with remote learning, teachers are still getting their classrooms ready, even though they don't know when or if students will be coming in. In February, Boulder started making coronavirus precautions, well before it became an issue in Colorado.
I think that it's important that we prepare for the worst case scenario.
2 weeks later, it became one of the first districts in the state to shut down, ordered by Superintendent Rob Anderson.
We're proud that we were quick to act and worked with health officials to do the right thing.
Hey, good to see you! Oh my goodness!
In May, Boulder was one of the last districts to decide that students had to come get their things because they're not coming back this school year.
So we waited a little bit later to call it. My hope was that we were going to be able to bring some kids in some way, shape, or form.
Then, as the summer months hit, all Boulder Valley School employees were planning to bring students back in the fall for a hybrid model of remote and in-person classes.
We had our entire team, and they had been working for 2 days straight in a war room type of environment to make the logistics work. And they finally looked up at me and said, "We can't do it." I mean, it was in that moment we said, okay, if we can't do that, then what do we do now?
In addition to a resurgence in COVID-19, Anderson said too many teachers opted out of in-person learning for medical reasons.
And we're still going to press. We're still going to try to figure out how can we get kids in person to the extent that it's safe.
So teachers will still prep their rooms.
It seems like it's been the longest 5 months of my life. It really does.
Principals will still make schedules for both remote and in-person learning. Anderson will still hold out hope school can return to normal once again.
I think that's what drives me to get up each and every day to fight for the right solutions, the ways that we can move forward and protect those kids and those families. That's what's driving us at this point.
Being nimble, new meaning to that word right now. So after the break, we're going to dig into how some districts plan to enforce COVID-19 safety policies. You're talking about masks and everything else. First, Liz Kotelik addresses another major concern from parents.
Hey everybody, I'm Liz Kotelik, and I've been reporting on a lot of the education stories from Mile High Morning this year. All summer, I've been asking for your questions and your input, and so many of you asked for a form just like this town hall to get all of your answers in one place. Tonight, I'm here to help with that. So first, let's start with childcare options. A lot of parents in Denver have reached out because they work full-time and can't stay home. So they want to know what they should do if their student is online learning. I took this question to Denver Public Schools, considering DPS students are learning virtually until October. They tell me right now they're working on providing childcare for their school-based staff before they open a similar model to the community. In the meantime, they say they're working with community partners like Denver's Office of Children's Affairs and the Denver After School Alliance to identify and address potential child care gaps. So the short answer from DPS is stay tuned for more specifics. But if you have any questions about your situation, it's probably best, no matter what district you're in, to go directly to your school's leadership. I'll be back in a few minutes with more of your questions, but in the meantime, we'll see you after the break. Hey everyone, Liz Kotelik here again. And now it's time to talk classrooms and social distancing. Teachers have asked me, how are schools that are going back to in-person learning going to fit everyone in here? Some classrooms are just so small. We've heard the 6 feet apart rule a million times, right? But the reality is that's not going to be able to happen if a room is tiny and cramped. Then we started hearing districts say that placing students 3 feet apart is okay. One teacher wrote me so confused, asking how that's possibly safe. I took the question to our 9 health expert, Dr. Pyle Coley.
So, of course, 6 feet is better than 3 feet. But if you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, some of the science is suggesting that 3 feet plus many of the other measures that we're instituting in school may be the bare minimum and may be adequate enough to get by.
One of the most important measures, masks. That makes the 3 feet rule safer. Here in Colorado, students over the age of 11 are required to wear face coverings for the entirety of class.
Yeah, lots of questions there. Parents and teachers have both reached out to us, concerned about how in the world do you enforce these policies that are created from the guidance from state health officials. We'll start with you, Mark. How do you enforce that?
Yeah, it really is important. The first thing is to make sure that we are working with our students, educating them about the rules, helping them to practice those rules. So as you looked at some districts have come in, they've brought in grades at a time to come in to be able to practice and learn. We have had summer camps going on in the summer, and we found that students are, those kids really were following the rules. The biggest thing was getting masks that fit them. If they were wearing adult masks, they were fiddling with it and just didn't fit right. Making sure that we have masks. We have a significant number of masks, but we'll also have every school will have masks. So if a kid doesn't show up with a mask, we can give them a mask. And also when we look at social distancing, we're looking at setting up classrooms, not just in traditional classrooms, but across the buildings in different spaces to make sure we can maximize the distance between students.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark. And when you bring that up, I've heard from many people, Monica, that, practice with the kids at home, get them used to wearing a mask. How do you plan to enforce it?
So we've been in school a week today. We started last Wednesday. And I have to really be honest with you. And I don't think that our kids are any different than kids in any other part of the state. But we just explained to our kids how important this was for all of us, for the protection and safety of everyone in our building so that we could continue to enjoy an opportunity to be together. And they just wear them. We don't, it has not become a discipline issue for us or even any type of a real issue at all. We just simply said, this is what the rules are and this is how we need to do school so that we can all be here. And they're doing that. We are really cognizant of the fact that kids sometimes say things to one another, particularly at the younger grades where maybe a first or second grader might not be wearing one or their parents might choose them for them to wear one. So we want to make sure that kids are honored and their families are honored in what they're doing. So we really haven't had a problem with that as far as enforcing the mask wearing.
Well, that's encouraging. Thank you, Monica. Okay, Rhiannon, you're a teacher. It's not like you don't have enough on your plate, and now you're existing in the world of COVID. So how in the world do you kind of enforce these policies, and do you have any concerns?
I would say that the one thing that our students at my school are very good at is following directions when it comes to their safety. And so one thing that I've seen with students around my neighborhood or even students that have come to the school is everyone is wearing masks. And I know in Jeffco, we have to wear masks. It's a requirement for our students and for our staff. So as far as my safety is concerned, as far as wearing masks, I feel protected in that I not only have the support from my administration and from the district as well in supporting our students and our staff wearing masks. How I'm going to manage that, well, is just to go over our restart or the Jeffco's restart, guidelines, which say students are required to wear masks. And if they are not wearing masks, they have to choose remote learning.
All right, Rhiannon, thank you so much. And we know you're going to have your hands full when you guys do go back and already doing the remote work. Elsa, you are a parent of a student yourself. You also work for an organization that represents Hispanic students, which makes up a large portion of DPS. What are your concerns and what have other families said to you?
Yes, so thank you again for having me here. Yes, I'm actually a single parent of a second-year-old. So this is a very, very close issue for myself because it's very difficult to manage remote learning while I'm working from home. But in terms of the policies, the concerns that I'm hearing is just what discipline measures will be in place if students don't want to wear their mask. You know, a lot of us, myself personally, encourage my child. We always wear a mask. We always hand sanitize. It's part of our lives now. But I know that there's just kids that may have like learning disabilities that just can't keep their masks on. So a lot of the concerns that we're hearing is what are those discipline measures? Is it punitive? Will our kids get suspended? How does that look like? So as an organization, we're also very concerned about that specific issue if our kids do not comply with the rules that are in place in our schools.
Yeah, that is a tough one, and you don't want to judge, and there's already so much guilt associated with parenting alone. So, all right, Elsa, we thank you for that answer, and we're going to get into remote learning. That's a whole new challenge. She brought it up. That's coming up after the break.
What will online learning look like this year? It is a huge question from both parents and teachers after a quick transition to virtual learning in the spring. There was obviously a lot of confusion in March, and everyone was flying by the seat of their pants. But with more time to prepare for the fall semester, how will it be different? We took this question to Jefferson County Public Schools, and they said they used feedback from parents and teachers to come up with their plan. There will be a common learning management system. That means more consistency in class structure across grade levels or schools. Jeffco School says there will be an organized lesson plan that will include activities and reading for students to do on their own, but also live interaction with teachers every day.
Sometimes that will be a small group or even a one-on-one conversation similar to what we're having here. Sometimes that would be, I call it the Brady Bunch grid, but when you see, a whole bunch of little squares on your screen and it really represents the whole class. Other times that might be live streaming where a teacher is presenting like I am and there's a video camera on them as they incorporate a presentation or some sort of slideshow.
So what will online learning look like in other schools across Colorado? Let's hear from our panelists about how they'll make sure that kids aren't falling behind and how they'll make sure they're meeting academic requirements.
So there's been a little time to practice this online learning and plan, but we have a really good question that we want to take to Mark Ferrandino first. Mark, in the spring, 67 students, mostly elementary students, were unaccounted for after DPS switched to the remote learning. So what is DPS doing to make sure that all students are accounted for in this new school year and they don't slip behind?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. We have been doing a lot of work to learn from what happened in the spring. We did lots of outreach as the piece put together. We switched from in-person learning to online virtual learning within 3 weeks. Not something any school was thinking about, and we need to shift quickly. And then after, from that, we've gotten a lot of feedback both from our teachers, from our parents, and from our students, and have worked to improve that. For example, this week, students have been meeting with their teachers. We've asked all teachers to reach out to their students. I have a third grader in DPS. We had a 45-minute meeting with her teacher and my daughter to go through what the days would look like. We are having, as Jeffco said too, we're having more virtual synchronous learning, up to 3 hours at least in synchronous learning. And so we are working with making sure we're identifying students who aren't engaged, following up with those students. We're also making sure that there's at least 20 minutes in each day of social emotional learning. We know that our students are struggling just like adults are with the impacts of COVID and not being able to be in person with their friends. And so making sure that we're focused on the social emotional learning of our students is really important. So we're doing a lot to make sure we're engaged with community, with families, to make sure kids are engaged with learning as we go into this virtual learning this year.
Yeah, it is about relationships. And by the way, good luck with third grade math. It's hard. Okay, thank you, Mark. And now we want to turn to Katie Anthus, the State Commissioner of Education. Katie, the state helps Colorado schools with guidance on attendance. So how in the world is the state helping to ensure that students are accounted for and they're getting their learning done remotely?
Yeah, thanks, Kim. Thanks for having me, and thanks to our panelists, too. I know they're working so hard to get schools up and running safely. CD is also really concerned about student engagement and making sure we're tracking them and engaging with students all along. We have support tools in our toolkit that we provided to all districts, and we're really encouraging districts. I think there.
One more time. What? Okay, we're having trouble with Katie. This is so our world right now. We'll see if we can get back to her to talk about this. But we're going to turn to Rhiannon, one of the teachers here, to account for the students. And Rhiannon, are you there with us? Yes. How do you account for your students to make sure none are falling behind?
Well, first of all, I'm going to spend the first 2 weeks addressing social emotional needs and getting to know my students and getting us caught up and finding out, how they've been. That's super important because we've seen that social emotional health is connected to how they're doing academically. So what I'm also going to do is just do some just general formative assessments and just see where my students' skills are. I am concerned about their safety, and I truly believe that school of safety and health is community health and safety. So my number one concern is their safety. my also as a teacher concern is their academic achievement. And so I know that myself and many teachers across Colorado are working really hard right now, setting up our classrooms and our curriculum and making sure they're going to meet the needs of our students, addressing things like equity, addressing things like screen time. And so I know that that's something I'm working on, and I know that every teacher in Colorado is doing that as well.
Yeah, that's nice. And kind of assure them. Kids need that assurance, especially from a teacher. I think it matters very differently than hearing it necessarily from a parent. Monica, how about you? How are you going to account for some of these kids that might get lost?
Well, I think when you're in a smaller system like we are, you're somewhat fortunate that you don't have that huge number of kids that you have to try to track as maybe like DPS or someplace larger than we are. But we have developed check-in Google Docs. So as a student logs into their remote learning, their attendance then comes back. And if they don't log in, then we follow the same attendance follow-up that we would if they didn't come to school that day and it was an unexcused absence. So we reach out and we call them. And when we find out why they're missing, if something's happening in their life, or if they're having a hard time accessing that technology. So we've only had about 5% of our students select an online platform through our district. And the rest of our students then in the elementary, as I said before, are face-to-face. So we will certainly reach out to them if they don't come to school, as we always have. And then on that hybrid model at the middle school and high school, again, students have to log in if they're on an off day. And if they don't log in to get that attendance captured, then we're reaching out to them.
All right. Thank you, Monica. It's going to be a journey for everyone. Also, getting low-income students the tech and the connection they need to be successful at remote learning, well, that was one of the main hurdles in the springtime. So we want to know if that is still a concern for many families. Elsa, we'll ask you that question.
Yes, it's still a major concern. One, especially, we just need to just put it out there. We have a lot of undocumented students in DPS, undocumented families, mixed status families. So parents, families are hesitant to actually get a device from the school, from the district, because they're not sure if they'll get in trouble later down the road. But if families do have access to an actual device, a laptop or a notebook, there's still a matter of having access to Wi-Fi. We know that it's very expensive, and I know that the district is working to try to promote those resources for some of those internet companies that are offering low cost. But a lot of our families are losing their jobs. So buying or paying for Wi-Fi is something that's not on their list, even though they still want their kids to be successful in school. So yes, it's it's still a major concern for a lot of our families.
You know, and we just reported on the shortage in general of computers because of everybody's remote learning across the country. So these are big concerns. And when you talk about Wi-Fi and everything else, Katie, we're hoping that we can hear you a little bit better and ask you, how is the state able to support some of these families?
Yeah, thanks so much, Kim. I do hope this works. We are very concerned about the digital divide, and so we have been working hard to get resources to all of our districts. We provided, through the governor's office, $510 million to our districts to be able to support the purchasing of devices and Wi-Fi hotspots if possible. We do know that there are supply chain issues with those devices, so that has been a challenge, but we continue to work on that. We also know, as Elsa said, that hotspots and Wi-Fi and internet connections are still a challenge in many parts of our state. And so we are trying to work with providers as well and potentially provide some additional resources to get temporary hotspots at a low cost. So we really know that this is a foundational element of school these days, because they have to be prepared to pivot to remote learning.
Yeah, and it could happen at any time for some of these schools open. Monica, your thoughts on that?
Well, our high school has been a one-on-one, so we provide every student in our high school a Chromebook, and we have for a couple of years now. So we were able to extend that out to our middle school students as well. We really we didn't really have a problem with kids having access to internet if internet was available where they lived. That's where, and I think Katie hit on that there are some places in Colorado where families just can't really access it, and they're depending on cell service data plans. We actually did have a student who just really could not access it last year, and we were able to accommodate that student with a different mode of receiving instruction and turning in work and things like that to try to accommodate that for them, because even depending upon just a data plan on his phone didn't seem to be quite adequate. So we really have been a little bit forward thinking a couple of years ago when we started trying to do flipped classrooms at the high school using online platforms for kids. So some of those kids already had some experience with that, and we had already then identified where technology might be a problem. We have been giving out computers and laptops to our students and our families that we do not expect back, so that they can have the equipment that they need to help their kids access any remote learning that we might have to do.
Yes, far beyond the pens and pencils anymore. Thank you, Monica. Mark, we know this is a bigger problem in some cases in DPS. How are you addressing it?
Yeah, it definitely was a big shift when we switched to online learning. Last year in the spring, we handed out over 57,000 Chromebooks to our students, as well as over 2,700 hotspots. As we look to start virtual learning next week, you had mentioned the national shortage, some of the trade issues and others having some impacts on our ability to get devices. We had ordered devices as early as May of last year, this year, that have not come in yet, but we're working hard to make sure we're getting as many devices as we can to support our students. We are asking families, if you have a device at home, to use that device, and if you have a Chromebook that was given to DPS, you could return to your school for someone who might not have a device. That'd be really helpful. On internet access, it's really important. We do have a significant number of hotspots, over 1,000 hotspots for students. And so if families need hotspots, please reach out to your school. We can provide that internet access. The other thing we learned that's really important is training for parents. Not everyone is tech savvy, and we are working on providing training for families on how to both use hotspots, how to use computers, and how to use the educational tools that are on that computer to help support their students.
Okay, I hear all that. Even though I thought I was tech savvy, I wasn't working from home. Thank goodness for a teenager. All right, thank you, Mark. We'll be right back. Many parents are working as well, and they rely on bus service to get their kids to school. That raises a whole nother set of questions. Dr. Pyle, let's talk about the risk with public transportation. What should we be concerned about?
So, Kim, the risk is real because if you can imagine, a bus is an enclosed space that the kids are sitting on for several minutes, and there's several kids coming and going, which can also complicate contact tracing. So there are several measures that can be taken both by parents and by the school system or the bus company in order to reduce the risk. So in terms of what parents can do, you really need to educate your kid that the bus ride is going to look a little bit different than it did before. So especially with the younger kids, they tend to cluster when they're climbing on the bus, so it's really important to remind them to socially distance. Once they get on the bus, they probably have a tendency to want to sit next to their friend. Again, you have to remind them about social distancing, wearing those masks, trying to minimize what they're touching when they're in the bus. And one way doctors say that to do that is to tell them to keep their hands in their pockets, almost like it's a game or something like that. And then in terms of what the school can do or the bus company, there's several measures that can be taken. So one is to limit the number of kids that ride a bus, keep the windows down so that there's really good ventilation. Cohort the kids on the bus just like we cohort them now in the classes, so that if there is an outbreak, then you could, trace it back to a specific cohort. And then you also want to protect the bus driver. So you want to put them in an enclosure and try to keep those first couple of rows empty and make sure you're wiping down the bus after each route.
Dr. Pyle, thank you. We're going to ask Mark about this. We know you're still remote, but the buses have to be a big concern for parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a concern, and I think your doctor laid out a lot of the implementation we are doing to make sure that bus transportation is as safe as it can be. So a normal bus has over 70 kids could be on that bus. We're looking at a significant reduction of that, anywhere from 24 to about 40 students on the bus. Right now, health guidance is suggesting one kid per seat. We're also requiring masks, also encouraging that all the windows are open. We're also making sure that we have a plus pass that we are requiring students to use so that we can track who kids are on the bus, so that if there was a positive case, we could know who was in that cohort and deal with any requirements around quarantine and notification around that as well. It is going to limit the amount of buses that we can provide and the services we can provide, but these protections are really important to make sure that the bus is as safe as it can be.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Monica, how are you guys doing it? How are you handling it?
So we've asked our families that if they live within an area, if they could possibly drive their kids in and help us with the limited spaces that will be on buses. And we've been really happy with their willingness to help us with that. It's created a traffic issue that we've also had to work out. So one thing seems to always affect something else. We've done the same thing with doing one student per seat. We've changed our bus boundaries so that we can make sure that we keep those limited numbers and that is a cohort, as everyone has talked about. The bus and riders on that bus become a cohort, just like you are in a cohort within your classroom or whatever schedule that you're on. We have everyone has to wear masks, and they've done that really nicely. We do take temperatures of kids before they get on the bus, and we have a plan in place that if a student has a temperature, we would not allow them on the bus, but we're not going to leave them standing all alone at a bus stop either. They'll wait there until someone from the school can get there. But I do want to say that our parents have been extraordinary in making sure that they're checking their kids and making sure that they're healthy before they send them to school, that they're not sending them if they're feeling ill at all. So I think it's going really well for us.
That's encouraging. Thank you, Monica. You're living it right now. We're going to turn to sports. That was so devastating for so many athletes in the spring. Many student athletes are now seeing some major changes in the sports this school year. So, Rhonda, some athletes who have seen their sports moved by months now worry they're going to be at a huge disadvantage because other teams are playing at regular times. So football is one example. Can you comment on that and explain why CHSA and what CHSA is doing to help them?
Well, First of all, thank you all. I think it's important that this is about education because we are a complement to the educational models that are out there in the hybrid. So CHASA is working around 363 school districts or 178 school districts, 363 member schools, and so you know the challenges that we face, but really truly moving forward with our ability to offer sports. You said it perfectly. We had to shut down the state basketball tournament this last March, and then not having any spring sports. And with the resurgence that came about August when the governor added more restrictive guidelines, we were just looking to find opportunities for our student athletes. 29 state championships, not only with football, but with 28 others, including activities, music. We have more kids that participate in music than we do any other activity. And I think it's about the forced normal that we're in. This was, everyone says new normal. This isn't something you talk about a new car or new house. This is about being forced to make decisions around what we're traditionally used to doing. And they've been very tough decisions, but at the end of the day, it's about getting our kids back for the social, emotional well-being that they were pretty much denied due to the pandemic this spring. So we're really excited about all sports having the opportunity to start a season and culminate a season, and pushing that back was the way to potentially have that guarantee.
Yeah, you're right. It is a forced normal, and there is no bubble. We don't have those bubbles here in high school sports. When you talk about this, though, there are some athletes, or those multi-sports athletes. We love them. They play a sport in the fall and then again in the spring. What is CHASA going to do to accommodate that, and do they have any option?
Absolutely. We're one of the few states in the nation that allow a student athlete to participate during the high school season as well as during their club season. But if you've seen a version of our calendar, it's been divided into quadrants, and we actually added a full month onto our competitive season so that we could protect our small schools, first of all, and then our 3-sport athletes. And so there's always been a transitional period between one season to another if you make it to the state championships. So we try to modify those seasons, maybe provide less games, delete some of the scrimmages, so the impact of transitioning from quadrant A or quadrant B would have less of an impact for a student who comes off of one season and then potentially would miss one game, but then would have the ability to be involved in all the seasons. So our model is really about protecting the multi-sport athlete, and then again ensuring that all of our kids had the ability to participate.
That would be so great. It'll be quite a year if it works out. Thank you, Rhonda. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
In a recent NBC News Survey Monkey poll, parents gave the quality of education they think their children will receive this year a grade from A through F. The majority gave the quality a C grade, 36%, 35%. 17% gave it a grade A, while 10% said F. So we want to know if our panelists agree or disagree. We'll go around quickly. Katie?
Well, in the spirit of high expectations, I'll say that I agree, because I know our districts had to pivot on a moment's notice, and so that we do have areas to improve. And I know our districts are improving in all those areas, and it's going to be much better this year.
Mark, your turn.
Yeah, you know, I think exactly what Katie said was we've learned a lot over what happened in the spring and continue to improve. We know the best thing is to get kids back into school. That'll be the best education, but we're working really hard to improve that virtual learning that is happening and make sure we get a good grade and a good education for our students.
Brandon, we'll ask your opinion as a teacher.
Well, I would say that's very hard for me because I'd be extremely subjective in my grading, but I would have to say maybe a passing grade. I wouldn't give it a technical grade. The teaching that I know I did last was crisis, and so I know that I have had been able to build the skills to be able to deliver an A quality education.
That is fair, 100%. Monica, how about you?
Well, I absolutely believe that our students are going to receive an A-level instruction. That is our expectation. We don't settle for things less than that. All of our students deserve that, and we know it. We also understand that we have one shot at teaching our kids, and they never get today over again. And if we don't strive for that A, then we are not doing what we come to do every day. And I think that we just cannot expect anything less than an A.
Elsa, your thoughts?
I have to agree with the C. I think that everyone from the administrators down to parents are doing their best. It's not going to be perfect. So we're just going with the flow. So I totally agree with the C.
Okay, we're going to take a break. Be right back. As we conclude our town hall, our sincere gratitude to all of our panelists who took the time to talk to us tonight, because their lives are upended and these are extraordinary times. They have provided us a lot of context and perspectives, and we really appreciate them taking the time. In the meantime, we say to all of those parents, good luck, and to the teachers, we never thank you enough, and administrators, and we really, really hope it is a happy, healthy, safe school year, even if we have to adapt a little bit. And hopefully by the time graduation rolls around in 2021, we'll be saying we did it. We did it together. So we will continue to provide you coverage throughout the school year during this pandemic across all of our newscasts. Thank you to all of you for joining us. Good night.